So let's have a practice tungkol sa orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves. So dito, there are like three topics that you really need to know, okay? Actually, let me rephrase what I'm trying to say. There are three main topics that you need to know before you proceed to this practice, okay? So tatlo yun. So, sulat ko rito. Yan. Three main topics. There you go. So, unang topic na dapat yung alamin is una, yung elimination of arbitrary constant. Because one of the application ng orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves ay yung elimination of arbitrary constant. Kasi for example, if we have given a family of circles that are centered at the origin, how will you represent this number of circles that are that are located at the or centered at the origin? So you're going to represent them by differential equation by using elimination of arbitrary constant. Then pangalawa is yung separable variable. Kasi dito, ang application ng separable variable is to get the general solution of a orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves. So you really need to know at least the idea of separable variable. Okay? Kasi dito, if you would recall your separable variable, dapat magkadikit ang x at saka ang dx. Magkadikit dapat ang y at ang dy. Okay? So, if by instance, ganito yung itsura ng equation mo, magkadikit si x at saka si dx at saka sa kanan, dy, then i-integrate mo sila both parts or both sides. Ganun ang gagawin niyo sa separable variable. And lastly, okay, we're going to apply what we learned in tangent lines and normal lines. Okay? So bakit kaya kailangan natin alamin or i-apply ang tangent lines at normal lines dito? Because of this one. Kasi we are talking about orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves. So meaning, there are curves that are intersected to each other at 90-degree angle. So remember, di ba pag in-apply natin yung elimination of arbitrary constant, kinukuha natin yung derivative. And remember, if you're going to get the derivative of a given function, you are actually getting the what? The slope of the tangent line of a given function. So therefore, since we are finding the orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves, instead of using the slope of a tangent line, we're going to get the slope of the normal line instead. Okay? So remember, kung ang slope ng tangent line ay m sub t, then ang slope ng normal line mo ay -1 all over m sub t. So later, we're going to apply it to our given problems. So let's try it with our, what do you call this one? Our first problem here, okay? So the given equation is y is equal to a times secant x times cotangent x. So before that, pwede ko naman itong simplify. Pansin nyo, itong equation na to. Pwede ko to siyang i-simplify. Kasi I can make it into a simplified version of it instead na a times secant x times cotangent x. So, dito, ano pang pwede kong ilagay? Dito kasi, if you're going to recall your lesson sa trigonometry, secant x is equal to 1 all over cosine x, diba? Tapos si cotangent x is equal to cosine x all over sin x. Yun. So we can substitute these identities dito sa, dito sa given functions, trigonometric functions, I mean. So we will have y is equal to a times 1 all over cosine x times cotangent x, which is cosine x all over sine x. So ang gagawin ko rito is I'll cancel out the cosine x on the denominator and on the numerator. So we will have y is equal to 8 times 1 all over sine x. And if you're going to recall, cosecant x is equal to 1 all over, 1 all over sine x. So we can have 1 all over sine x as cosecant x. So therefore, I'm going to use this equation instead kaysa ito. Okay? So I'm going to use this one instead of this one. Okay? Sinisimplify ko na siya para natin siyang isolve. Okay? So now, we can now proceed in solving. So una, apply natin yung elimination of arbitrary constant. So as you can see, arbitrary constant mo rito. Therefore, you're going to differentiate this equation once. Kasi kung like the number of given arbitrary constant is in a certain equation is also the number of times you're going to differentiate. So kapag isa lang si arbitrary constant mo, isang beses ka lang mag-differentiate. So kunin natin yung first derivative niya. This would be y prime is equal to negative a times cosecant x times cotangent x. Okay na siya. Then, since we're done in differentiating, and as you can see, andito pa si a. So what are the ways or methods that we can use para matanggal si a? So ito, pwede ako mag-apply ng methods in solving a system of equations, which is substitution. Since kasi, I'm using one of the methods of system of equations, this will be my first equation, and this would be my second equation. So ang gagawin ko ay substitution method. I will find my a in this equation, tapos i-substitute ko siya dito. Okay, dito. I-substitute ko siya dito. Okay? So therefore, by applying substitution method, okay, y prime is equal to negative a cosecant x times cotangent x. We will divide both sides by negative cosecant x times cotangent x. Okay? Both sides. So with that being said, meron na tayong negative y prime all over cosecant x times cotangent x is equal to your a. And as you can see, pwede ko pa itong simplify. But if you don't like to, then you can have this as your a. Pero kung gusto niyo siyang i-simplify, walang problema. Okay? Remember, di ba, yung cosecant x? Cosecant x is equal to 1 all over sine x. Okay? Pwede mo namang siyang i-switch ng position. So, meron tayong sine x is equal to 1 all over cosecant x. So, we will have, ano na to? Sine x as 1 all over cosecant x. Tapos ito, si cotangent x, kung mapapansin mo, di ba ito siya? Cosine x all over sine x. Which is, okay, kung susulat ko rito, cotangent x is just the same as 1 all over tangent x. Magkapares ang sila. So, if you're going to switch the sides ng cotangent x at tangent x, we will have tangent x is equal to 1 all over cotangent x. Ganun yun. So, ang gagawin ko rito, dito sa fraction na to, i-decompose ko sila into two fractions. Okay? I-separate kasi ko itong dalawang functions na to. I'll separate them both. Okay? So, I will have negative y prime times 1 all over cosecant x times 1 all over cotangent x. Ayan. Remember, again, 1 all over cosecant x ay sine x. So we will have negative y prime times sine x. Tapos si cotangent x, 1 all over cotangent x, siya si tangent x. So we will have this one. So you can pick which would you prefer. Would you prefer yung kanina, which is ito yun? Or would you prefer this one? It's up to you. For me, pipiliin ko ay ito. Okay? So, since pinili ko to, isa-substitute ko siya sa first equation. Okay? So, burahin ko lang to ha. I'm gonna erase this one so that marami tayong space. Okay? So, remember, again, andito tayo. So, we will have like, wait. Mag-try kong gumawa ng border para di tayo mahirapan sa, ano, sa solving. Okay? Ayan. That's it. So, kopyahin natin yung first equation. We have like y is equal to a times cosecant x. Diba? And remember, yung a natin ay quantity negative y prime times sine x times tangent x. Diba? Yun yung pinili ko. So na yun, let's simplify. Let's combine this expression to each other. So kung i-combine mo sila, ang sagot nyo ay negative y prime times tangent x. Bakit kaya? Kasi, if i-combine nyo itong dalawa, if i-combine nyo itong expression na to, edi syempre, magiging negative y prime times sin x times tangent x times cosecant x. Diba? However, if kukunin mo itong product na itong dalawa, sin x at saka si cosecant x, sin x times cosecant x, kahit hindi sila makadikit-dikit, basta lahat sila ay separated by multiplication operation. Okay. Ang sagot nila ay 1. Okay? Because remember, cosecant x is, sorry. Okay, yan. Kasi remember, ang cosecant x, ano siya, di ba? Equal to 1 all over sin x. So kung ilalagay natin siya dito, sorry. Okay. So kung ilalagay natin siya dito, sin x times 1 all over sin x, makakancel out sila. So magiging 1 na yung sagot. So, you will have negative y prime times tangent x times 1. So, 1 times negative y prime times tangent x, ang sagot ay negative y prime times tangent x pa rin. So, there's no changes. Okay? So, therefore, ito na yung magiging sagot ninyo. So, what's next? So, what's next is we will divide both sides by tangent x since na-cancel out natin yung mga arbitrary constant. We will divide both sides by negative tangent x. Okay? So, pag dinivide natin both sides by negative tangent x, we will have negative y all over tangent x is equal to y prime. Bakit kaya hinahanap natin si y prime? Okay, why? Remember, we are actually getting the slope of the normal line. Diba? Yun yung goal natin. Okay? Kasi we are asked to find the orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves. Okay? So first, we need to find the slope of the tangent. And remember, dy all over dx, which is just the same as y prime, which is actually the slope of tangent line. Okay? So therefore, ito na yung magiging slope ng tangent line nyo. Okay? So negative y all over tangent x is equal to dy all over dx. So therefore, after nyong mag-eliminate ng arbitrary constant, hanapin nyo si y prime. Yun yung next step nyong gagawin. Okay? So yan na siya. So na yun, since ito na yung slope ng tangent line mo, anong gagawin natin? So what we're going to do now is we will, what? We will find the slope of the normal line. Remember, ang slope ng normal line ay ano? Negative 1 all over slope ng tangent line. So if ito yung slope ng tangent line mo, and we are asked to find the slope of the normal line, edi meron tayong negative 1 all over negative y all over tangent x. Yun lang. Okay? Yun yung gagawin ninyo. That's it. Okay? Then we will, we will simplify further. Ituloy-tuloy ko na to sa baba para meron tayong espasyo. Meron tayong space to occupy. Yun. So, let me just draw a border here. Okay? So, ano mangyayari? So, in here, since negative, negative meron tayo, so magiging positive to. Kasi meron tayong negative on the side and negative on the denominator, which is still positive pa rin yan. Then we will reciprocate. So, what will happen is we will have tangent x all over y is equal to dy all over dx. So, anong gagawin natin? We will now apply separable variable to get the general solution for this one. So, what do you call this one? Wait lang. So, what do you call this one? Isulat ko siya rito. Tangent x all over y is equal to dy all over dx. So let's cross multiply together. We will have tangent x dx is equal to y dy. Ayan. So dito, we're going to integrate both sides. Okay, we will integrate both sides. So the integral ng tangent x ay ln of secant x plus c is equal to 1/2 y squared. Pero here's the thing though. Ito, I think na-discuss ko na yata to sa video. Pero bakit walang plus c dito sa y na to? Was it because ba, since kasi independent variable naman si x, so siya na naman koron ng c? Is that the main reason? So here's why though, kung bakit. Actually, kung kukunin mo yung constant integration dito sa kaliwa, magiging C1 yan. Ito, kung kukunin mo yung constant integration sa kanan, magiging C2 yan. So bakit may C1 at C2? Kasi on both sides, i-integrate mo sila and may kanyang-kanyan silang constant integration. Pero here's the thing both of them are arbitrary constant. So sabihin natin, let's combine similar terms. So when we say combining similar terms, we are now combining two at least similar. Obviously, di ba? Similar terms na. So ano yung similar terms dito? Si C1 at saka si C2 kasi parehas silang constant terms. Kahit arbitrary sila, constant naman sila. So kung i-add mo silang dalawa, ano mangyayari? Sabi ng iba, maka-cancel out kasi parehas lang naman ng C. But the answer for that is no. Hindi ganyan ang purpose ng arbitrary constant. Kaya nga may C1 at C2 kasi there is a possibility magkakaiba ang arbitrary constant mo. What if si C1 ay 0 tapos si C2 ay -1? Diba? O kaya magkaiba sila. There's a chance. Therefore, magkahiwalay sila. Pero, if we're going to combine these constant terms, we can just simply represent them as C kasi overall, both of them are arbitrary constant. So combining two constant terms is still a constant term. So therefore, if you're going to combine them, C1 plus C2, the answer for that will be just capital C. We can just simply represent them as C. So therefore, we will have C na lang. O diba? So C, pwede naman siya dito or pwede naman siya sa kanan. It's up to you. Okay? So, without further explanation, this would be your final answer. Pwede ito, guys. Pwede ito. So, anong ibig sabihin nun pag sinabi kong pwede ito? Ibig sabihin nun, pwede pa natin siyang i-simplify. Pwede pa. Okay? Una, we can cross-multiply itong denominator na 2 to this expression. So, we will have 2 times ln of secant x plus, ito, 2 times c is just c. Bakit? So, kung kanina, di ba may C1 at C2, arbitrary constant lang sila. So, kung i-add mo silang dalawa, anong sagot pa rin? Arbitrary constant pa rin siya, di ba? So, C pa rin siya. For this case, you are multiplying a constant 2 sa constant C. Remember, constant times constant, kahit i-combine mo silang dalawa, is still a constant. So therefore, instead of having 2c, why not just have c na lang? Kasi overall, 2 times a constant and 2 is also a constant. Eh di c na lang siya instead. Okay? Kasi overall, arbitrary constant naman to. So 2 times a constant is still a constant. So we're just going to leave it as c. Okay? I hope nagigets nyo ako. Okay? Ulitin ko. Multiply a constant is still gonna be constant anyways. Okay, so i-multiply mo ng arbitrary constant ng ibang number or ibang letter, it is still a arbitrary constant. Okay, constant pa rin ang maging resulta kapag i-multiply mo or i-add mo sila. Okay? Actually, why do I have to explain this one? Kasi matagal na to eh. But anyways, so is equal to 1 times y squared. Okay? So ito, 1 times y squared, ang sagot nito ay y squared. So ito, pwede rin to as your final answer. Pwede rin. Or ilagay nyo lang tong si 2 as an exponent of your second x, magiging ln of second squared x plus c is equal to y squared. So yes, pwede na rin to as your final answer. Pwede rin. But actually, there's actually more simplified version of it. Pwede pa to. Di ba si c constant lang siya, di ba? So, pwede nating gawing si c as an input of a natural logarithmic function. So we can have ln c because overall, since c is just an arbitrary constant and pwede kahit anong klaseng constant siya, so we can have ln of c. Pwede natin gawin yun. Pwede. Kasi, again, since c is just an arbitrary constant, so pwede siya constant in other ways. So ito, ln of c is still a constant din. So we can have ln of c. So yun, meron tayong is equal to y squared. And remember, kapag i-combine natin ang dalawang natural logarithmic function, okay, tapos may kanyang-kanyang silang input, anong ibig sabihin nun? We can group them into one function at imumultiply natin yung input nila. So we will have ln of c times second squared of x. Ayan siya. Okay? Then, what we can do here is we can transform this into an exponential function. So ito, kung ita-transform mo to ng exponential function, ang resulta nito magiging e raised to y squared is equal to, wait lang. E raised to y squared is equal to c times second squared x, which is pwede na rin to. Or, remember, ang second x ay equal to 1 all over cosine x. Therefore, we will have c times 1 all over cosine squared x. So we can cross-multiply the denominator dito sa expression na to. So we will have e raised to y squared times cosine squared x is equal to c times 1, which is just c pa rin. So for me, ito na yung final na sagot ko. O diba? Ang astig pero mahabang proseso. So either way, it's up to you. Gusto nyo ito, or ito. Pares lang silang tama. Main reason why kung bakit kaya, tawag nito, bakit maraming kasing possibility na sagot dito, it's because what if sa exam, tapos multiple choices pa naman siya, may mga iba't iba kayong sagot. At yung mga sagot mo ay hindi pala nakasimplify. May ganun yun. And at the same time, okay, hindi lang siya pang multiple choice. But what if gusto sa'yo ng teacher nyo or professor nyo na kailangan nakasimplify yung sagot mo? O diba? So I'm just giving you some possibilities. So let's start with number 2. How about this one? Parabolas that have their vertex at the origin and focus at y-axis. Wow. Paano kaya to? So, etong gawin nyo. Try nyong i-graph visually. Okay? So, una, parabolas that have their vertex at the origin at focus at y-axis. So, kung ito si Cartesian plane, syempre, ito si origin, di ba? Itong nasa intersection ng axis. Syempre, ito yun. Ito yun. Oh. This is your origin. So, tapos sabi daw, yung focus mo sa y-axis. So, big sabihin nun, yung focus mo pwede dito, sa taas, o sa baba. Pwedeng-pwede yan. Kahit saan. So, imagine mo, there are a group of families of curves na pag ganun siya. Okay? And then, meron din pababa. Okay? And so on and so forth and many more parabolas pa. So, how can we find the orthogonal trajectory of this given family of parabolas? Okay. So, anong formula gagamitin natin? So, if you're going to recall sa yung lesson dun sa, sa algebra, ang formula, ang gagamitin natin ay, since kasi, you know what, isulat ko na itong dalawang formula kasi magkakaiba sila. Una, meron tayong x minus h squared is equal to 4a times y minus k. Or, meron tayong quantity y minus k squared is equal to 4a times quantity x minus h. So, mamili kayo. Pero here's the thing. Which one is correct? Since di ba ang graph natin kanina, andito si vertex. Tapos di ba may pataas, may pababa. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung parabolas given dito ay vertically oriented or vertical orientation niya. So which one of these formula na gagamitin nyo? Ang gagamitin nyo is syempre ito. Kasi ito pang vertical orientation. Ito kasi pang horizontal orientation to. So we will not use this. Okay? So burahin natin. So ayan na siya. Yan na yung formula gagamitin natin. And another thing kasi, yung vertex niya ay nasa origin. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Kung yung vertex kasi, if you're going to recall, ano siya eh, H and K yung coordinates niya. So kapag yung vertex mo nasa origin, ibig sabihin nun, ang coordinates mo ay 0, 0. Therefore, we will have x minus 0 squared is equal to 4a times quantity y minus 0. So we will have x squared is equal to 4 times a times y. Yun na yun. Okay? So that's it. So, what to do now? So, ito na yung magiging simplified version natin. We will use this to find the orthogonal trajectories of the family of parabolas that have their vertex at the origin and focus at y-axis. Pero we still need to simplify pa. Remember that your A, arbitrary constant siya eh. Okay? Naalala niyo yung standard form ng parabola, di ba meron tong A? Yung A na yan, yun yung distance from the vertex to the focus at distance ng vertex to the directrix, kung naalala niyo yun. Pero still, it represent as A. Kumbaga, constant to. And remember, we have 4. 4 is also a constant. And A is also a constant. So 4 times A will result to having a constant term. Kumbaga, si 4, constant din siya. Si A, constant din siya. So kung multiply mo siyang dalawa, anong sagot pa rin? Diba constant pa rin siya? So therefore, we can represent this as capital A na lang. Okay, capital A. Okay? Kasi overall, ulitin ko, 4 times A, 4 is a constant term, and A is also a constant term. So, i-multiply mo silang dalawa, dalawang constant i-multiply mo, anong sagot pa rin? Eh di constant term pa rin. Okay, it's still a constant term. So, instead of 4A, ang mangyari dyan, we will just represent it as capital A na lang. Okay, to represent the product of 4 and the A, which is yung arbitrary constant niya. So, meron na tayong ganito. And lastly, di ba sabi ko, di ba, pag ganito siya eh, di ba, yung parabolas. Tapos meron ding pababa, di ba? May mga ganun yun eh. Pero di ba dito, di ba dapat meron kang, okay, x minus h squared is equal to negative 4a times y minus a. Di ba dapat negative to? Di ba? Bakit kaya negative? Kasi kapag yung parabola mo, pataas siya eh. Right? Pataas siya. Pero, di ba, again, meron din parabola na pababa. Pababa, meron din mga ganun. So, di ba, dapat negative siya. So, therefore, why should we use this one at the first place? Remember, di ba meron kang A as an arbitrary constant? Tapos, meron kang constant na 4. At this case, di ba, negative 4 siya. So, sige, negative 4 yan. So, still, constant times constant is still a constant. Constant pa rin yan. Kahit na negative, constant times constant is still a constant. So, i-multiply mo ng negative sa isang arbitrary constant, anong sagot pa rin? Di constant pa rin. So, whether it's negative or positive, it is still an arbitrary constant. Okay? Constant times constant is still a constant. So, therefore, we can just, represent it as 4a or capital A, which is ito yung ginawa ko. Okay? It's still the same anyways. Kasi, what's the point? Negative constant times a constant is still a constant pa rin. So therefore, it's better to represent it in an arbitrary constant mismo. Okay? So in other words, ito, magkaparehas lang silang dalawa. They are just the same. Okay? Parehas lang sila ng situation. Okay? Kasi itong si 4a, multiply mo pa ng negative o kahit anong number, arbitrary constant pa rin resulta nito. It's still gonna be a constant pa rin. And the same thing na rin dito. Okay? I hope nagigets niyo ako. Okay? So anyways, I'm gonna erase this one. And let's go. So na yun, we can now proceed in getting the solution for this one. So as always, we will apply elimination of arbitrary constant. So we will get the differential equation for this one by applying elimination of arbitrary constant. So una, bilangin mo muna yung arbitrary constant. Then after that, once you na-determine mo kung ilan yung arbitrary constant mo, then yan yung ilang beses na i-differentiate. Since there's only one arbitrary constant, so you're going to differentiate the equation 1. So kunin mo lang yung first derivative nito. So we will have 2x is equal to a times y prime. Ayan na. So as you can see, after nakuha mo yung derivative nito, andyan pa rin si arbitrary constant na si a. So therefore, what are the ways na matanggal to si a? So ako, apply ako ng isa sa mga methods sa system of equation, which is substitution method. So since gumagamit ako ng methods of system of equations, this would be my first equation and this would be my second equation. So gamitin ko to para hanapin ko si A, then i-substitute ko siya dito sa first equation. So we will have 2x is equal to A times y prime, and I will divide both sides by y prime. I will have 2x all over y prime is equal to A. So after that, i-substitute ko siya dito. So kopyahin natin. Okay, let's draw a border dito. Okay, mag-draw ako ng border. That's it. There we go. Ayan, saan na tayo? Yan dito tayo. So x squared is equal to a times y. So we will have x squared is equal to 2x all over y prime times y. So we're done. Or, or pwede nyo pa siyang i-simplify. Okay? You can actually, ano bang tawag nito? Para hindi ka mahirapan, pwede ka mag-cross multiply dito. Okay? Kumbaga, kung ayaw mo ng denominator, gusto mo simplify the equation, edi you can cross multiply. So we will have y prime times x squared is equal to 2xy. And since mayroon kang x sa kaliwa at sa kanan, we can simplify them, okay, by dividing both sides by x. So we will have y prime times x is equal to 2y. Ayan na siya. So that's it. We're already good to go. Now, ano ulit yung next step natin? We're going to find your y prime. Kasi hanapin natin yung slope ng tangent line mo. So we will divide both sides by x. So we will have y prime is equal to 2y all over x. Okay? So remember na si y prime ay dy all over dx siya. So yun, meron ka ng 2y all over x. So ito na yung slope ng tangent line mo. And remember, since we are asking to find the orthogonal trajectories of a families of curves, anong gagawin natin? Hanapin natin yung slope ng normal line. So therefore, kung ito yung slope ng tangent line mo, so we will have slope ng normal line mo, which is negative 1 all over slope ng tangent line mo, which is 2y all over x. So i-simplify natin to further. So dy all over dx is equal to negative x all over 2y. Ayan na siya. So what's next? Let's now apply separable variable. So we will cross multiply. So we will have, kukunin ko si negative x. So we will have negative x. Tapos si 2y magiging positive na lang siya. Yan. So yun, we cross multiply. We have already combined the x to dx and y to dy. So anong gagawin natin? Let's now integrate both sides. So here we will have negative 1/2 x squared plus c is equal to, is equal to y squared. Okay na to. Sorry. Okay na to. Is equal to y squared. Kasi ang integral ng 2y ay y squared. So, pwede na to as your final answer. Pwede na to. Okay? Pwede na yan. Or, kung gusto nyo pang i-simplify, no problem. Okay? Wala akong problema. Ito, we can make it into a whole fraction kasi since may isa dyan naka-fraction, ito hindi, pwede. There's no problem. Okay? Walang problema dyan. So, if you're going to apply butterfly technique, okay, or any methods na gawin siyang isang fraction, magiging negative x squared plus c all over 2. Ganito maging tsura niya. Is equal to y squared. Then, pwede kong i-cross multiply si 2 sa y squared. So, ang resulta nito, magiging negative x squared, teka lang, negative x squared plus c is equal to 2y squared. Then, okay, pwede na rin to actually. Yeah, pwede na rin to. Okay? Yan. This is also your final answer kung gusto nyo. Or, kung gusto nyo, i-combine natin si negative x squared sa kanan. So, we will have c is equal to x squared plus 2y squared. So, for me, ito na yung magiging final sagot ko. This is now my final answer. So, ito, or ito, tama pa rin sila. Okay? Ayan. So, ganun pa rin. Now, let's have our last problem. So, we are asked to find the orthogonal trajectories of the families of curves where the ellipses are centered at the origin and the distance from the center to given vertices is 4 units which are located at the x-axis. Ibig sabihin nun, kung meron kang Cartesian plane, yung yung vertices mo, okay, which is nakalocate dito siya sa x-axis. And yung distance niya from the center, kasi yung center mo, naka-centered sa origin, ay 4 units. Okay, 4 units. Okay? So, ganun yun. Ulitin ko ha. Ito yung Cartesian plane natin. Tapos yung yung center ng ellipse mo ay nasa origin, which is ito yon. Then, yung vertices mo, nakalocate sa x-axis, which is andito yun. And lastly, yung distance from the center to the vertex ay 4 units. So, itong si center, papunta sa, sa vertex, 4 units yan in total. And ganun din dito sa kaliwa, from 0 to 4 units. O, di ba? So, ito yung maging ellipse ninyo. And again, since we're talking about families of curves, there are infinite number of ellipses. What if ganito itsura nila? O kaya pag ganito itsura nila? And many more shapes na ellipses na yung vertex nila, okay. Tapos, yung vertex nila ay nasa x-axis and yung distance ng center to the vertex ay 4 units. So, what are we going to do here? So, we're going to know its formula muna. Remember, ang formula ng ellipse, okay, ay x minus h squared all over a squared plus y minus k squared all over b squared ay is equal to 1. Actually, may dalawa yan eh. Okay, may dalawa yan eh. Meron tayong y minus k squared all over a squared plus x minus h squared all over b squared. Dalawa yan eh. Pero which one would you pick? Okay, if you're confused o beginner pa lang dito, anong pipiliin mo rito? Kung pipiliin mo ay horizontally oriented, kumbaga yung vertex ay naka-face horizontally, therefore ito pipiliin nyo. Kasi 'di ba kanina sa drawing, 'di ba yung vertex nasa x-axis? So ibig sabihin nun yung ellipse nyo horizontally oriented. So ito pipiliin nyo. Ito kasi pang vertically oriented to. So malalaman mo kung vertically oriented siya if yung vertex niya, yung mga vertices niya ay vertical position. Pero base sa given natin, naka-horizontal position siya. So, ang gagamitin natin ay ito. Okay, itong formula. Another thing is that, di ba yung vertex, yun na naman tayo. Di ba yung center? Di ba ang coordinates niya ay h and k, di ba? So, kapag ang center mo ay nasa origin, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, yung coordinates ng center mo ay 0 and 0. So, we will have x minus 0 squared all over a squared plus y minus 0 squared all over b squared is equal to 1. So, meron tayo x squared all over a squared plus y squared all over b squared. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Ito pa. Distance from the center to given vertices is 4 units. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Di ba kung kanina, na-drawing natin to, actually, I already explained this to you na eh. Di ba ito yung center, tapos ito yung vertex, tapos ang distance niya in total ay 4 units. Ganon din sa kaliwa, distance nila ay 4 units. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, your A is equal to 4. Your A is equal to 4. Okay? 4. Okay? 4 siya. So, ibig sabihin nun, we will have x squared, wait lang, x squared all over 4 squared plus y squared all over b squared is equal to 1. So, ito na yung magiging working equation natin. So, dahil dyan, what are we going to do now? So, let's simplify. I-simplify pa natin to bago tayo mag-proceed sa solution. 4 squared is 16, di ba? So, meron tayong x squared all over 16 plus y squared all over b squared is equal to 1. Remember this one. B squared siya, di ba? And as you can see, siya lang yung arbitrary constant. And ano ulit sabi ko? Kapag i-combine mo yung dalawa or at least at least 2 arbitrary constant, ano pa rin ang resulta? 'Di ba? Arbitrary constant pa rin. So, you're going to add or subtract 2 arbitrary constant, ano sagot pa rin? Arbitrary constant pa rin siya, 'di ba? So, kung imumultiply mo silang dalawa, yung dalawang arbitrary constant, okay, anong sagot pa rin? Arbitrary constant pa rin, right? And how about this one? Meron tayong b squared. So, itong si b squared, okay, it's just the same as b times b. And remember, they are constants. So therefore, constant times constant is still a constant. Constant pa rin siya. So we can just represent b squared as b. Yun na lang. Okay? So ulitin ko, multiply constant and constant is still a constant. Add constants together is still a constant pa rin. Okay? Therefore, squaring a constant will still have a constant pa rin. So we can just represent it as capital B na lang. Okay? Nagigets niyo ako? Okay, kung paano? Okay? Multiply anything by an arbitrary constant is still an arbitrary constant. Add with a arbitrary constant with a given constant is still gonna be a constant. So squaring a arbitrary constant will result to a constant as well. Therefore, we can just represent it as just your B. Yun na lang gagawin natin. Okay? So without so no more explanation, we can now proceed in this one. Actually kasi basic na to eh kapag integration usapan. I think you will get what I mean. So if you still don't get it, I advise you to ano ang tawag nito, mag review muna kayo sa integration and you will understand what I mean. Okay? So let's go. So dito, okay, we can group this into a whole fraction. So we will have bx squared plus 16y squared all over 16 times b is equal to 1. And again, we can make this, again, 16 times b, which is 16b. Wala naman akong problema dyan. Okay. Pero, again, constant and constant is still a constant pa rin silang dalawa. Okay? So, meaning, we can rewrite this as b. Pwede pa rin to. Kasi 16 times b, which is just an arbitrary constant, magiging b rin to. So, it's okay. Okay? It's okay kung capital B na lang ang i-represent nyo. Kasi ulitin ko, constant times arbitrary constant is still a constant. So, we can just have b na lang instead. Then, we will cross multiply. So, we will have bx squared plus 16y squared is equal to b. Okay. Ngayon, we're going to what? Get the, ang tawag nito? We're going to basically solve the given problem dito by elimination of arbitrary constants. Okay? So, I think dito na ako magsisimula para may space tayo dito. Okay? We can occupy more spaces. So, we have bx squared plus 16y squared is equal to b. So, as you can see, okay, by the definition of elimination of arbitrary constants, di ba, bibilangin natin kung ilan si arbitrary constant. Tapos kung ilan sila, yun yung ilang beses mo siyang i-differentiate. So, tingnan nyo to. We have b and b. So, big sabihin, dalawang beses mo siyang i-differentiate? The answer is no. The answer is no. No, guys. Do you know why? Magkaparehas sila ng letter. So, no. You're not going to differentiate them. Bakit? Okay, let's try to group similar terms by b. I-group natin sila. So, ito, di ba? Ito si b. Okay? So, i-transpose natin sila dito. So, we have bx squared minus b plus 16y squared is equal to 0. I-factor out mo itong first two terms by b. Anong resulta? B times x squared minus 1. plus 16 y squared is equal to 0. So, ilan na talaga siya? Isa lang. Okay? Isa lang. Okay? So, basically, there's only one b. Isa lang yung arbitrary constant mo. So, ang advice ko sa inyo, kapag pansin nyo may parehas na dalawang letter, i-group mo sila, tapos i-factor out mo. Okay? Then yun, doon mo malalaman kung ilan talaga siya. So, based sa ginawa ko, isa lang nga. Isa lang nga talaga yung, yung arbitrary constant ko. So, what to do? Let's now apply, yun nga, elimination of arbitrary constant. Since isa lang siya, so therefore, I'm going to differentiate once. Let's get the first derivative. So we will have b, tama ito. Kung kukunin ko tong derivative na to, I think this would be b times 2x. Let me try product rule just to be sure lang because ayaw ko magkamali. b times 2x plus x squared minus 1 times 0. So yeah, tama nga. b times 2x. Yan, okay na yan. Then, plus, ito, kung kukunin mo tong derivative nito, so we will have 32 times y prime. Ayan na siya. So that's it. We have 2bx plus 32y prime is equal to 0. That's it. But then again, we need to find, your, tawag nito, we need to find your b here para ma-eliminate siya. Kasi after na-differentiate natin siya, ano pa rin ang resulta? After we differentiate it, di ba meron pa rin tayong arbitrary constant. So we're going to, what? We're going to apply one of the methods of system of equations, which is substitution method, para matanggal natin si b. And since yun nga, system of equation na to, this would be my first equation, and this would be my second equation. By the way, I can actually simplify this one kasi itong first term at saka si second term, they are both divisible by 2. So, kung pwede, i-factor out ko siya ng 2. So, we have bx plus 16 times y prime is equal to 0. So, we can divide both sides by 2 para mawala si 2. So, meron tayong bx plus 16y prime is equal to 0. So, ito na yung magiging second equation natin pala. Okay? This would be our second equation kasi na-simplify ko na. So, let's find your b. Hanapin natin si b. Okay? Para ma-substitute natin siya sa first equation dito. So, here, we're going to transpose this one on the right side. We will have bx is equal to negative 16 y prime. So, divide natin to both sides by x. Your b is negative 16 times y prime all over x. So, i-substitute natin siya sa first equation, which is ito yun. Okay? So, dito na tayo magsimula sa baba so that we can now occupy the spaces below. Okay? Ilagay natin siya dito. And gawa lang ako ng border dito. Okay? So, dito tayo. There we go. Alright, let's start here. There we go. So, ulitin natin. Yung b nyo ay ito. So, we will have negative 16 y prime all over x times quantity x squared minus 1 plus 16 times y squared is equal to 0. And as you can see, we are now done applying elimination of arbitrary constant kasi wala na si b. Wala na si b. Okay? Pero, ang next step natin is, just like anong ginawa natin kanina, hanapin natin si y prime. So what we're going to do is we will simplify this equation. So kung i-distribute natin tong term na to dito sa expression na to, we will have negative 16, negative 16, negative 16 times y prime times x plus 16 times y prime all over x plus 16 y squared is equal to 0. Okay. Una sa lahat, kung mapapansin nyo, all of these terms are all divisible by 16y. So we can factor out 16y dito. Or kung better yet, we will factor out negative 16y. So if you're going to factor out negative 16y, we will have x times y prime plus y prime, y prime all over x plus, minus pala to guys kasi na-factor ko yung negative, sorry. Minus y prime all over x minus y. Ayan, there you go. So, we will divide both sides by negative 16y. So, ang resulta ay we will have x times y prime minus y prime all over x minus y is equal to 0. Then after that, itong first two terms, pwede ko silang i-factor out by y prime. So we will have y prime times quantity x minus 1 all over x minus y is equal to 0. Then ang gagawin ko, i-transpose ko si negative y sa kanan. Okay, so we will have y prime times quantity x minus x then is equal to y. Then, we will divide both sides by x plus x minus, sorry. We will divide both sides by x minus 1 all over x. Ayan. So, we will have y prime as, as y all over x minus 1 all over x. Ayan. So, ano ito? Para hindi masayang space, punta tayo dito. Remember that si y prime ay dy all over dx. That's it. Is equal to y all over x minus 1 all over x. Ulitin ko guys ha, kung ano yung y prime nyo, which is dy all over dx, at yung dy all over dx na yun, o yung y prime ay slope ng tangent line. Pero, ulitin ko, we are finding a orthogonal trajectory of the families of curves. So therefore, ang hanapin natin ay ang slope ng normal line. So kung meron tayong slope ng tangent line, therefore, by getting the slope of the normal line, we will have dy all over dx is equal to negative 1 all over y all over x minus 1 all over x. Yun. Okay? Then let's simplify further by reciprocating. Dy all over dx is equal to negative quantity. Kahit wag na mag-quantity. Negative x minus 1 all over x all over y. Ayan na. And here's our last step. We will now apply separable of variable. So we will cross multiply. So for me, kukunin ko yung negative sa x minus 1 all over x. So I will have negative quantity. Sorry. Wait, notification kasi. Okay. So we will have quantity x minus 1 all over x times dx is equal to y times dy. Ayan na siya. So what we're going to do is we will integrate both sides. So ito, ang integral nito ay negative quantity 1/2 x squared minus ln of x plus c. Ayan. Is equal to 1/2 y squared. So i-distribute mo tong negative dito sa expression na to. We will have negative 1/2 x squared plus ln of x plus c. Bakit na naman? Why is it that pag na-distribute yung negative, ano pa rin siya? Positive pa rin siya. Because arbitrary constant to. So, multiply mo ng kahit anong constant, i-add mo pa ng kahit anong constant, kahit negative yung constant na yun, tapos i-multiply mo sa arbitrary constant, constant pa rin siya. Okay, still a constant. So, therefore, it, is, it will be still an arbitrary constant pa rin. So, there's no changes as well. So, yun. Ito na yung magiging, magiging sagot nyo. Once you distribute the negative sign, then we have is equal to 1/2 times y squared. So here you can leave this as your final answer. Pwede naman to. Or, 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 okay, you can simplify this one further. Di ba mayroon tayong denominator ng 2 sa kanan? We can cross-multiply ito sa expression sa kaliwa. So we will have negative x squared plus ln of x squared, di pa, plus 2 times ln of x plus c is equal to 1 times y squared, or which is basically y squared lang siya. Okay? So, yeah, let's just say we're done. Okay, pwede na rin to kung gusto nyo, but we can still simplify it. Okay, we have negative x squared plus, here we go, again, dami kong notification, plus ln of x squared plus c is equal to y squared. Ang gagawin ko, transpose ko tong si negative x squared sa, sa kanan. Okay? So magiging magiging ln of x squared plus c is equal to x squared plus y squared. Ayan. And remember na si c ay isang arbitrary constant. So pwede siya kahit anong form ng arbitrary constant. So pwede ko siyang gawin as ln of c. Okay? Tapos ito, meron tayong x squared plus y squared. So ulitin natin na nito, na kapag imumultiply mo yung dalawang natural logarithmic function, ang gagawin mo, you will have a result of having one logarithmic function and yung input nila ay yung product nilang dalawa. So we will have from ln of x squared plus ln of c is equal to ln of c times x squared. Ayan. So is equal to x squared plus y squared. So we can transform this one into an exponential function. So we will have e raised to x squared plus y squared is equal to c times x squared. So we can have this as your final answer. Pwede rin naman yan. Or, okay, you can divide both sides by x squared. Kung gusto nyo matira lang si c. Wala rin namang problema yun. Okay? Wala rin namang problema yun. So we will have e raised to x squared plus y squared all over x squared is equal to your c. So overall, parehas lang naman sila. So that's it. Wow, ang haba, pero I tried my best to explain it in Taglish. Kasi para sa akin, mahirap pag-i-Englishin ko eh. Maybe I'll take multiple tapes or recording for this one. But yeah, that's basically how you solve for orthogonal trajectories of families of curves. So yun lang naman. All right? So I hope you have learned something. And alam yung yung nagugulon kay sa C, yung yung arbitrary constant. Okay? Basically guys, kung hindi nyo talaga mag-gets, I suggest you should go back to my videos relating about elimination of arbitrary constant at saka yung families of curves na ginawa ko. Okay? I suggest you should do that. And kung gusto mo ng additional information, mag-research din kayo sa sa internet or sa YouTube. I suggest you should watch this one kasi ito professor ko rin siya dati. Si UJ Abad. Okay? Search nyo to. Kasi professor ko siya sa Engineering Mathematics 1 dati. Okay? So yun, please search this in YouTube, then you will have more information about it. Okay? So yun lang naman. So thank you ulit, and I hope you've learned something from me.